In a wolf pack, there's one spot that all aspire to be. The alpha, the leader of the pack who eats first, commands the others, and chooses his mates. I'll give you the first steps to becoming a leader people look to. In our society, leaders are the foundation in every facet of life. Can you imagine a room? No. An army behind you ready for your orders? A true leader can not only command an army, they can move mountains. The good news is, even if you're not a leader now, they can be made, and I will be your guide. A natural-born leader is not relied on as the first choice. People rely on the person that has trained their mind and prepared for any obstacle in their way. Someone they can trust with everything. In the military, they train as if it's the real thing. If they're training to clear a building, they drill exactly how they will do it in reality, because you don't always get a second chance. The training and repetition isn't just for understanding, it's to gain familiarity and confidence in what you're doing, regardless of the potential stress you're under. It doesn't necessarily mean physical training. A commander constantly sharpens his mind to be the deadliest weapon in the battlefield. He does this by going over different scenarios and prepping for every possible outcome. It's a game of chess where every piece is a life in your hands. He will have an answer for nearly everything before it even happens. Ultimately, there will be times where something crazy occurs. Something he didn't foresee. During these times, those around you will become frustrated or panic. A great leader will remain composed, stoic, and focus on the solution. The ability to be unfazed in difficult situations calms the people that need it most, enabling your team to excel in whatever the task is. You are the pillar of support, and if you crumble, so does everyone else. To become a great leader, preparation is key. And to do that, it's more than just scenario prepping. It's getting to know the people you're leading, their strengths, weaknesses, wants, and needs. You need to know how they're motivated. You need to know who can do key tasks and then delegate the best person for the job. Your role as a leader isn't to be the best at everything. In fact, even the best leaders have significant weaknesses, just like anyone else. A good leader will recognize them and deploy the right people to cover for each and every vulnerability. Slowly but surely, you'll turn your team into a well-oiled machine, achieving tasks with precision. Now, let me ask you a question. If you were a leader and needed someone to grab something high up, would you delegate someone who is 5 feet tall for the job? The answer is no. For this same reason, you wouldn't delegate someone 6'4" to go into a shallow crawl space. Recognize who is going to be able to achieve your task and ensure they understand your goal. To delegate is to lead, and you must understand not only your team's limits, but your own. As a leader, you can't afford to take breaks whenever you want. You have to be prepared for long periods of activity, and that means physical as well as mental. In order to become an effective leader, you need to have certain traits: confidence, determination, charisma. Hone these to become the best leader possible. Timmy has none of these, and it's not unheard of for him to achieve a leadership position. His dad may have put him in the position. He might be lifelong friends with the owner. The problem is, although Timmy may be a boss, he doesn't command a key component, and that's respect. Anyone can be given power over another, and the people he's responsible for may listen based off of the role he was given. But nobody will go above and beyond for someone they don't respect. They'll talk behind his back and clown him. If only he knew, to gain the respect you need, you must lead by example. You must never ask something that you aren't willing to do yourself. Strong leaders can take weak teams and make them strong. Weak leaders will destroy strong teams. Attitude follows leadership, and a team that's falling apart often points to a Timmy in charge. If you demand everyone is on time, you will always be early. If you demand someone stays late, you're right there with them. You share the pain in failing and the eventual glory in success. You share responsibility for your team, and you must be there to support everyone. Within that support, there's a very important factor that even your team may not acknowledge. They may push themselves beyond their capacity, causing sloppiness or failure. Even the sharpest knife will dull without the proper care. As a leader, it's your responsibility to ensure their well-being by preventing themselves from trying too hard for too long. This is called controlling pacing. It may take you quite some time before you recognize when someone is burning out. But once you master the other elements of being a leader, this will be extremely important to learn. Your role as a leader is to have great macro understanding of everything you're dealing with. An equally important role is choosing the right people to deal with all the micro details. You need to know a little about everyone's job, at least enough to understand whether they're proficient in their responsibilities. A great leader can recognize where there's a weak spot in a team and swiftly correct it. Speaking of weak spots, you aren't going to always choose the right person to delegate a task. When this happens, your team will recognize it. If you don't act accordingly, your leadership skills will come into question. This is no time to be weak, and it means you'll have to remove the people who aren't living up to your expectations. Solve the problems before it morphs into a different, larger one. Do you want to be remembered for being a great leader? Of course you do. Timmy may not have the choice, but as long as you commit to bettering yourself, you have the potential to carve your name in history. Join me in creating the next chapter. Subscribe, like, and leave a comment to inscribe your name as a founder in the beginning of our channel. Lastly, control, dominate, conquer, and see you in the next one.